one of the most exciting times in the calendar year for a wrestling fan. The Royal Rumble is this Saturday, and I can tell you, I have got Royal Rumble fever. I cannot wait. And I can tell you what, I'm really looking forward to the women's Royal Rumble match. In fact, I've got a few fantasy booking ideas that I'd like to share with you here today. I've not got time this year, unfortunately, to do a full Royal Rumble for you, but I'm going to implement 5 ideas for you right now that could be used in the women's Royal Rumble match. And of course, at the end of this video, it'll be your turn to let me know in the comments below some of your fantasy booking ideas for the women's Royal Rumble, and perhaps as well you can let me know what you think of the ideas I presented for you now. So without further ado, here they are, starting off with Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley. Will there be revenge at the Royal Rumble? Will we get the surprise entrance and return of Beth Phoenix? It's certainly something I think that will happen, and I think it could prevent Rhea Ripley from winning the Royal Rumble match as well, perhaps building to a singles match at WrestleMania, perhaps even a mixed tag team match with Edge and Beth against the Judgment Day one final time. Of course, Rhea Ripley hit Beth Phoenix with a concerto at Extreme Rules. That's why we've not seen her for the longest time. Of course, that forced Edge to quit in the I Quit match against Finn Balor. It's been also quiet since then. It'll be really exciting if Beth Phoenix makes the return here and goes for that revenge. Certainly something that I think that could happen, what I think should happen in the Royal Rumble. And I think for me, Beth, she's a legend as well, a surprise entrant. It ticks all the boxes for a Royal Rumble match, and to have that confrontation with Rhea Ripley, for me, I think we get a lot of fans excited. Moving on from arguably one dream match to another, can we finally get Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey in the same ring at the same time? For me, I think this would be an ideal situation in the Rumble, whether it's a first 2, a final 2 in the middle of the match. I don't mind. Look, this has been a match that's been building since 2018. It was supposed to happen at the Survivor Series. Of course, the infamous incident where Becky legitimately got punched in the face and concussed ruled her out of the match. And of course, when we thought perhaps maybe we'd get Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania 35, it was a triple threat match. Ronda lost that match, Becky won it. It felt that Ronda would come back for revenge. Ronda had been gone for a long time from WWE, nearly 3 years I think it was in total. When she did return, we haven't had that match with Becky Lynch. I need that closure. For me as a wrestling fan, I just think it makes sense for it to necessarily happen at WrestleMania this year. Heck, I'd even settle at Elimination Chamber, and at the rate we're going, because, well, it's just not happening at all, how about the Royal Rumble match? We can get it kick-started again, at least, you know, add some fuel to the fire if we can try and get fans excited for the prospect of this match happening once again. For me personally, it's something I would make happen if it's a possibility. But of course, Ronda Rousey hasn't been around for the last few weeks in WWE since losing the SmackDown Women's Championship. Will she return at the Royal Rumble? Time will tell. I mentioned about entries at number 1, number 2. Well, how about Liv Morgan saying she wants to be the number 1 entry in the women's Royal Rumble match? She's even stated that she can go the whole distance, with the locker room doubting her. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we should see Liv Morgan go in at number 1 and win the Royal Rumble match, but I'd like to see her prove those doubters wrong, because Liv has had a lot of doubt in the second half of 2022, and it appears that the roster of the women's locker room is having that doubt at the start of 2023 as well. Liv Morgan last year had the big breakout moment, winning the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, of course cashing it in on the same night to become the SmackDown Women's Champion. It was a dream come true for Liv Morgan. Fans ate that up. It was one of the moments of the year, arguably, in WWE, but of course, it went sour quite quickly. Fans started to turn. We had the feud with Ronda Rousey, which wasn't the best at the time, and it kind of felt that WWE almost kind of put Liv out of her misery at the end. We've had a bit of a character involvement and change since then, a bit more of a crazier Liv in the last couple of months. Probably makes sense then why she wants to be the number 1 entry in the Women's Royal Rumble. I'd like to see her go from the start of the match all the way to the finish, the journey woman in the match, if you will, perhaps going the 45 minutes, the 1 hour, whatever it takes. Liv can go that distance, and I'd like to see her finish runner-up in the match, because I think that would set almost the same statement as winning the match, the fact that she could go the distance and outlast every female that doubted her along the way, perhaps losing then to the eventual winner, which, let's be fair, I think many are thinking it's a Rhea Ripley, perhaps it's a Becky Lynch, Bayley. These seem to be the most popular names that have been thrown at me. Perhaps even a Bianca Belair if she lost the Raw Women's Championship earlier in the evening to Alexa Bliss. We'll have to wait and see who that eventual winner could be, but for me, I'd like to see Liv Morgan as the runner-up, starting from that #1 position. I think that could be really good for her character, really good for her credibility, and start building her on that road to redemption to eventually getting back to becoming champion once again, because I don't think WrestleMania is the right place and time for her this year. Switching gears, and we're really going to the realms of fantasy booking here. How about an insane return to WWE? Kairi Sane coming in for the Royal Rumble. Look, we had the Impact Knockouts champion last year. Yes, she was announced as the Impact Women's champion in Mickie James. Why not open that, well, not forbidden door, if you will, but you know, the forbidden door, and bringing your IWGP Women's Heavyweight Champion, of course. Carl Anderson did a show for New Japan Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year under contract to WWE. What if there was a return the favour, and WWE got Kairi Sane in the Women's Royal Rumble. Some insane elbows here and there would be awesome to see once again in a WWE ring. Perhaps some revenge on someone like Bayley for a couple of years ago for the attacks that were done on her, which almost wrote her out of WWE at the time during the pandemic. Maybe we could see reunited with Asuka and Io Sky in the ring at the same time. A Kabuki Warriors reunited, best friends of Io Sky. Maybe they all just go against each other. Who knows? It could be fun, it could be interesting, but one thing's for sure, it would be exciting and it would get people talking. Kairi Sane in the Royal Rumble for me would be one of the best potential surprises you could get over the whole Royal Rumble weekend. Last but not least, let's talk about Damage Control, shall we? Bayley, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, or Damaged Control, as some people like to put it over in recent times. And for me, maybe the group is going to become a bit damaged. I mean, let's be fair. Becky Lynch has kind of said Bayley isn't the leader. Bayley is relying on the others to do the dirty work for her. And maybe, just maybe, eventually, Dakota Kai and Io Sky might just see that. I really enjoyed their introduction at SummerSlam last year as a trio. For me, Bayley's big return, of course, the return to the company of Dakota Kai, Io Sky being called up from NXT when many thought she was going to leave the company. And let's be fair, I thought it was one of the highlights of the show. But since then, as a group, they've had mixed success. Of course, the Women's Tag Team Championships have come into Damage Control. They didn't win them straight away like they should have done necessarily. They did get a big win at Clash of the Castle, but that feud with Bianca Belair, it really didn't do the group any favours. They all looked like jobbers that Bianca could overcome them, even with 3-on-1 odds. Even when it got to War Games, they still didn't get the last laugh at the end there. And they've moved on to Becky Lynch since, and although it feels like Bayley has picked up a bit of momentum recently, pick up a victory against Becky Lynch, and also the beatdown instead of getting that steel cage match this past Monday night on Raw. I just wonder if Becky's words are actually going to start making an impact on the feelings of Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and eventually one or both just may turn on Bayley, or Bayley decides it's the right time to turn on them to try and get herself that WrestleMania moment. Maybe Becky's words may implode this group, whether it starts seeds at the Royal Rumble or whether it's something that will carry on until WrestleMania to give ourselves a triple threat match between the three ladies. It's something I think that I'd like to see because, well, Damage Control for me had a lot of potential as a group. I don't think they've lived up to the hype, and I think the best thing we could try and do with this group long term could be to try and make a new star or two with the idea of the triple threat match, or perhaps maybe the girls turn on Bayley, Io and Dakota, and Bayley finds a tag team partner to win those tag team titles at WrestleMania. So that's my 5 fantasy booking ideas there for the Women's Royal Rumble. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you liked these ideas? Would you do anything differently? Do you have some ideas of your own? Please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and I look forward to interacting with you. You can also let me know your predictions in the comments below as well for the Women's Royal Rumble match. And of course, you can also check out my full predictions on the channel for you right now. Also got a live Q&A with multiple different guests joining me as well. Went through some of their predictions along with answering your questions as well. Enjoy the Royal Rumble. There's other videos that are popping up on the side of the screen right now, so make sure you're going to go check them out. It's been a lot of Royal Rumble content this week. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have yourselves a good one, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the Royal Rumble 2023.